Sawadee krab. Welcome to Fearless Home Cooking. My name is Nick, and next to me is Chef Timber. Today we're cooking Bangkok Thai Spatchcock.
Yep. What we're going to do today is show a different way to cook a whole chicken that ensures it gets cooked all the way through and also gives you a nice even browning across every part of the chicken that's going to really increase the flavor and the juiciness of it.
So I think what we need to do is break down the chicken. In this case, we have a nice chicken from Betagro, which is really high quality, but it comes with all the bits and we need to trim it. Basically, you're using many different techniques. And again, we have butter here, which is traditionally more European, and we do something to it. And we have, of course, Thai's national pok pok, which we love, and we're using to mix the ingredients which we use for the chicken inside. So I hand over to Timber first to break down the chicken.
And we just remove the paper. The first step we need to do is get the head out of the way. And when you have bones on the chicken, you basically use the back of your knife near the handle, put pressure on it, and just push down until you hear the snap. Then pull that out. There's the first part. Now, when you take the legs and the feet off of the chicken, you need to cut right where the cartilage is in the center of the joints. So we just look for the center of the joint, and then we run our knife right in between there. So you're not actually cutting bone, you're cutting right in between the bones.
Tendon.
And you find that where it bends, that's where you're going to make the cut. Sometimes it can be a little trickier to find.
Okay.
There we go. Right, we've got that off. The wingtips we can leave on. Inside, you're going to find a package with the livers and gizzards. These are excellent for making stock and gravy later on. What we're going to do today is a technique called Spatchcocking. And this basically allows us to lay the chicken out flat in the oven so you don't have to have much clearance on top. Now to do this, we're going to use kitchen shears. So what we're going to do is start along the spine from the back, and we're just going to give it a clip.
Again, you can use also a really sharp knife or what do you call it? What the Thais are using normally, the big blades.
The cleaver.
The cleaver, and you can do the same thing on a cleaver on a board.
I can show you here where we've cut it open. And then we're going to run just down the other side.
Because you do not want to have the spine. That is the thickest part of the chicken. That's the one who cooks the longest. And most people don't eat it, but it's perfect for your chicken stock.
Once we've done that, we remove the neck. And we've got our pieces there. And this is the part where we talk about what the spatchcock means. We're just going to separate any tissue holding it together. And then you need to just break the breastbone so it sits flat. And that is how we spatchcock the chicken. Now you can see it's all sitting flat and even. So when we put this in the oven, it's going to cook evenly. The next step we're going to do too is just run our finger in between the skin and the meat and create a little pocket. So after Nick makes the marinade, we are going to stuff this with an infused butter that will also help to baste it as it's roasting in the oven. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're good to go on the chicken now. And we just need to start our marinade.
So, marinade, very, very, very simple. We have lemongrass, we have lime, we have kaffir lime leaf, we have some coriander root, we have some brown palm sugar, we have some garlic, some shallots, and of course, for your liking, chili. Okay, so basically we put everything in our little pot. So we put everything inside. We put the lime.
Squeeze the lime in. Also, when you pound with the mortar and pestle or the pok pok, it releases more oils from the ingredients, which is going to result in a stronger flavor. When you're using a food processor, you're just chopping everything really fine. So you're not really getting so much of the aromatics out of the ingredients. Another thing you can do, a little tip in the kitchen, if you're getting too much juice from the onions and things splashing out, you put a little bit of salt into the crock as well, and that will keep the moisture in a little bit better. Now, this is where we're going to diverge a little bit from Thai cooking and go into a bit more Western methods. We're basically going to take this and make something called a compound butter. And then compound butter is one of the first things that they'll teach you in cooking school when you learn how to roast a chicken. And basically, you're going to add your butter into your marinade. That should be enough. And then you just fold it together. So you're creating a new infused butter. And to make this process easier, you want your butter to be not completely melted because it still needs to be solid, but you don't have to have it straight from the fridge. Maybe we put a little bit more in there. This will just allow you to push all the ingredients into it. Now the next step, since I've got the chicken hands, I will use this butter, and in the space we made between the skin and the meat earlier, we're going to pack this butter in, just like this. And once it's underneath the skin, we're just going to push it around so it gets into all the different corners. As this heats up in the oven, it's going to create these little pockets in there, and all of those flavors are just going to get right onto the meat. Okay, so our chicken is stuffed. Very simply.
We use a roasting pan.
We're just going to go right onto the roasting pan. Nick, you've got the clean hands. Do you want to finish with the salt and pepper?
Sure.
On that?
And where you want to
and then I would drizzle just a little bit of olive oil onto there.
Again, this just helps the cooking process. Normally you can base it a little bit.
And that's it. The next step is to put it in the oven, and then we'll check back in on it in about 40 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay, I think our chicken is ready.
Smells like it.
It smells phenomenal.
There we go. We'll come in with our dry towel. All right. Look at that. You can really hear it going. So when we cut these, it's going to be the same idea as when we were breaking down the chicken. Instead of trying to cut through the bone and ending up with broken pieces of bone and things in the meat, we're going to cut through the joints where the different pieces meet. So when we do that, we just find where the kneecap of the chicken is, and we push our knife right through it. Maybe. Sorry, it was a little higher up on the organic chickens. Okay. Then we're going to separate the thigh as well. Okay. And on these, the thighs actually have more of the meat on these natural chickens. And just cut through the soft tissue there. And then the last one, we just separate that leg again. Once we have that, we can start our plating. And that's it. We're ready to go.
Perfect recipe, smells gorgeous. We hope we see you the next time at Fearless Home Cooking. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ